Good evening, distinguished Wizards fans. I'm Sully,
I'm Raj.
and this is the Bulls to Wizards podcast. And happy Solar Eclipse Day! Yeah. Not gonna lie, it was kind of underwhelming unless you lived in Ohio. But for the most part, most of America, it was kind of, at least especially for me, it was kind of cloudy. It was kind of cool with the glasses, kind of trippy, honestly. But it was cool to see this large groups of communities, just the whole East Coast of America, just going outside at the same time, just to stare at the sky. But yeah, how was your solar eclipse experience, Raj?
My solar eclipse experience. Thing is, I had a class, and that class cut through most of the solar eclipse. I had to run out of there, and it was already 70% partially done. So I had to run out to the park, put these glasses on, and I saw it. I'm like, that was my first time seeing the eclipse because the one in 2017, I didn't even know it was happening, so I didn't get a chance to see it. But this time, it's pretty bizarre. I hope my eyes didn't burn. I hope my camera's lens didn't burn because I took a picture of it. So
I mean, if it did blind you, at least you wouldn't have to watch any more Wizards basketball, and that's not a horrible thing. Hey, that's just a reminder. I know
for
we haven't really said anything about the Wizards in the first minute of this podcast, but we are a Wizards podcast. So, what Wizards do you think enjoy the solar eclipse the most?
I know Anthony Gill. He brought Bilal. He brought Vuk. He brought all of those young guys. They definitely went out to some place in DC that's super miscellaneous. And I know Gill brought a little. He brought a little basket of fruits and vegetables and a little charcuterie board and everything. And the guys just had a little picnic and they watched the eclipse. 100%. That's definitely what happened.
I think that's a good pick. Gil definitely helped. He showed the young guns, especially for lack of a better term, the foreign players, because Vucevic and Bilal are new to America. So it's yeah, come here, let's go to the National Mall, look at the eclipse or something.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think beyond that, I think Landry Shamet is a good candidate for a solar eclipse enjoyer. I mean, him and his little photography things, and I don't know, he just seems like the kind of guy that own a telescope for no reason. He would use it to just stare at the eclipse. You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean.
All right, any Wizards you think that just didn't watch the eclipse at all?
I think Amarui didn't watch the eclipse. I think Kuz didn't watch the eclipse. I think everyone else would have watched it though. Maybe Jules Bernard didn't watch it. He did some other things.
No, I think no. Don't hate my guy Jules Bernard. You know I'm a Jules Bernard lover. I think he's an intellectual, and he definitely. Let's see, what college did Jules go to?
He went to. Oh, I saw a picture of it the other day.
He's a UCLA graduate.
Yeah.
That's a good college. Yeah. So no, don't hate on Jules. He definitely was a solar eclipse enjoyer. But beyond the solar eclipse, though, we got a fun little episode here today, as usual. We're gonna recap the last week in Wizards basketball, which included a really surprising win over the Bucks, and then just a lot of random single digit losses, which is fine. It was against really weak opponents like the Blazers, who are really weak right now, and also the weak Raptors. And after that, we're going to quickly talk about just how Tristan Vucevic has been playing since being inserted into the starting lineup. Jared Butler got a full-time contract it's guaranteed for the next about 3 years. And also Steve Buckhantz, former Wizards announcer, part of my childhood, big announcer, through a lot of Wizards, through the Gilbert era, through the Wall era, and now he's back on the monumental side broadcast. So
Pool era, some great era to be back in. Sure, he's excited.
That's true. The last month, I guess you could call the pool era. He's averaging 20 right now for the last month. So yeah, kudos to Poole. But yeah, before we get into the meat of this episode, the meat of Wizards basketball the last week, let's say hi to our friend, the Wizards cat. All right, and we're back. Do you think the Wizards cat enjoyed the solar eclipse?
The Wizards cat definitely just laid back, maybe grabbed a little martini on his or her. What's his gender?
It's a they them.
They them. They definitely laid on their motorcycle wearing their John Wall jersey, drinking their little martini with the little glasses on. The Wizards cat definitely enjoyed the eclipse like we did.
The Wizards cat is so badass. And also, if you're a new viewer, I know the Wizards cat must be really confusing, but I'm not going to explain it. I'm just not. Not now. Maybe later. Not now.
We'll bring up the Wizards cat later. Probably in the off season. It's this whole thing.
There's lore behind it, but if you're a new listener, just keep listening to the episodes if you want to know why the Wizards cat is our mascot. But yeah, let's get into the game previews. Raj, want to start us off with the Bucks game?
I got you. So, the Washington Wizards defeated the Milwaukee Bucks at home on Tuesday night, 117 to 113. And before you think about anything, I mean, the Bucks had their starters. They were without Dame, but they still had Giannis, Chris Middleton, Brooke Lopez, Pat Bev, Malik Beasley. Gallinari revenge game? Nah. Nah, Gallo. And then Crowder, Bobby Portis, whatever. The Bucks had their players without Dame. But the Wizards were also without a ton of players due to injury. I mean, Kuz wasn't playing, Tyus wasn't playing, and
Bagley got hurt like in the first like couple
yeah,
minutes.
Bagley also got hurt. We don't
So
have
that
Tyus
means
Jones, thank God.
that means Anthony Gill played 38 minutes because of that.
And if you're probably wondering why we didn't have a lot of players, it's because the Capital City Go-Go actually made the G League playoffs, but unfortunately got eliminated in the first round to the Long Island Nets. So we only had 8 rotational players. But despite that, they got off to a great start. I mean, I watched this whole game. I remember Corey Kispert's 15 first half points. Yeah, yes, he did. And then Avidja poured in 11 points on his own to give the Wizards a 58 to 54 halftime lead. Jordan Poole. Jordan Poole has been really good so far. I mean, this game was like a little eh. I mean, he shot 1 for 6 from 3, 6 for 14 from the field. But he was pretty good in the second half. I mean, he had a career high 13 assists. And Jared Butler and Tristan Vucevic contributed as well with 17 and 14 points. So yeah, that's pretty much what happened for the Bucks game.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, it was definitely. I liked it. It's similar themes with the other wins this season. Consistent play throughout 4 whole quarters was really important, and then everyone did their role. Nobody tried to do too much. And yeah, like Jordan Poole, the playmaker, is awesome. Like, bro's getting double doubles, and I don't mind him in his stat sheet from that game. Like, I still want him to take shots. If he's taking 14, 15 shots a game, even if he's missing, that's fine. I think that is the amount of shots he should be taking. And on hot nights, he'll make more. Cold nights, he will make less. But he made up for his playmaking. So yeah, definitely, it's gonna be a theme throughout the next couple of games we're gonna recap. But the Jordan Poole experience has definitely got a lot better. And then yeah, it's just cool. Like I mentioned, everyone doing their role. Anthony Gill had the most like Anthony Gill 38 minutes he possibly could. And so every time Anthony Gill scores, it's just like a nice little layup. Like by the end of the game, that clutch like fast break layup he had, and it was just I don't know. I love me some Anthony Gill. And yes, he said yes, Corey, your boy Corey. He scored 27. Really nice game from him. All these games we keep playing him like 40 minutes. It's paying off. Corey's becoming like a fringe 20 point per game
yes,
scorer.
Yes, he is.
He better be when you play him 40 minutes, but it's nice to see. It's nice to see him stepping up as an actual shooter and not just this weird cutter, which he was when he was colder at the beginning of the season. And then yeah, Vucevic. Vucevic's game is still really weird to me. It's nice to see him that he has been scoring double digits the last couple of games, but it is still really weird. Like he's either hot or cold from 3. He's decent enough at like getting open near the rim. I wouldn't say he posts up or anything. He just kind of gets open near the rim and just makes it. It's the best way to describe the offensive game. Defense, he's still an albatross on defense. Like, I know I was hating on him after his like first 4 or 5 games, saying he's the next Bertans, and I still think he's the next Bertans. But I have faith that he can be like the good version, like the year 1 of DC Davis
for
Bertans.
A second round pick. I wouldn't mind. I mean, it is Davis Bertans, but for a second round pick, I don't mind having
a good Davis Bertans.
Yeah.
Not the bad Bertans, but like if Vucevic can be a good Bertans, that's awesome. And just like it would be insane if he could unlock just any kind of defensive or rebounding ability. Honestly, maybe Kristaps if he can learn how to play defense. I'm being for real, like legitimately. But yeah, overall really good game. I mean, Giannis had a triple double. Chris Middleton played well, but it was weird. Brooke Lopez had a really quiet game. Usually centers eat us alive, but I don't know. Anthony Gill playing 38 minutes of center. Was that the answer? I don't know. Or maybe Doc Rivers is just a bad coach. I mean, this game.
The Bucks haven't won a game yet since we beat them. They haven't won a game. They lost 4 in a row now.
The Bucks have been losing to some really bad teams recently too.
The Grizzlies and the Heat, I think. Actually, I don't know.
They lost the Raps.
Oh, the Raps.
Yeah, they lost. And the next two, well, okay, Knicks are good, but like the Raps are bad, and
I mean,
we're
the Bucks
bad.
were the second in the East.
Are
So
they still are they
I
still
don't think
second?
I don't think they will be.
No, because they had a really they're still second in the East.
Oh,
They have
really?
they're up a game on the Magic for second right now. I mean, they
The
definitely
Magic are that high?
yeah, the Magic have
Oh,
those.
snap. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Okay.
Franz and
Interesting.
Paulo have been balling out down there in Orlando. Love to see it. The other magical team in the NBA, but yeah, the Bucks built a good cushion when Adrian Griffin was the coach. And I feel like let's be real, Giannis kicked out Adrian Griffin. If we're being real, Giannis was the nobody. It was not anybody else. Giannis was the mastermind. Giannis secretly the coach killer. Oh, that's a story for a Bucks podcast, not a Wizards podcast. But yeah,
Talking about
Doc.
coaches, one little side question I have for you. I saw some rumors recently that Keith might get the full-time coaching position next season. What do you think about that?
Uh, we're still rebuilding. I don't mind it, and
Uh,
maybe an off season, maybe Keith could actually like do what he wants to do and not just play West unsold ball. I'm not opposed to it. Like, give him I would give him 2 years after this, but then after that, I would. And also at the same time, also I guess the coaching free agent market isn't that exciting to me. Like,
I still
I
want
know
Coach Bud.
I don't want Bud.
Why?
Bud
Why?
is Bud is like a variation of Doc Rivers. Okay.
But
He is like he just the coach Bud in the playoffs is just doesn't adjust right in the playoffs. He's a regular season coach, and
we need a regular season coach.
I'm
That's what we need.
no. But
Brian
the
Keefe,
point,
I want him to be an assistant coach. He'll be a great assistant coach. But I
the thing of
don't head coach.
the thing of
Really?
Keith's not going to go back to being an assistant. He's either going to leave to be an assistant somewhere else, or he's going to become our head coach. But I think
Man.
another thing to consider is like Keith was handpicked by Dawkins and Winger because they knew him previously, and I could tell subliminally, like when they added him to the Wes's assistant staff, they kind of always had a vision that Keith would get an opportunity to dethrone Wes, and I really think the last like 2-3 weeks have given Keith a lot of life and like the head coaching. The start of Keith's tenure, he yelled a lot. I guess that was inspiring, but I guess recently, like the play has been a lot more consistent from the team, and that's given life to the rumor that Keith could be head coach next season. I'm not doing jumping jacks for Keith becoming full time head coach, but I'm not opposed to it either. Like at this point, I think it's still interesting. He's a fresh name in the coaching world. I personally like that better than Coach Bud or who else is available. I mean, I saw someone
Where did
suggesting
Adrian Griffin go?
he's still available. Actually, I would like Adrian. I don't think Adrian Griffin would be interested in coaching us though. I don't think he would want to coach here. I think he'd get a better job than DC. But yeah, I
Maybe
would
for some
okay.
money. Some money.
Would Ted Leonsis open the
Probably not. I don't know what Ted Leonsis does all day.
I don't think right now. I don't see Leonsis opening the checkbook for this team. Not right now. Especially, I think he's more invested like just the caps and like right now just finishing like Ovi's career strong. I don't get what the Caps. It's not a hockey podcast. I don't get the Caps are doing right now either. They were in the playoff hunt for so long, and then they fizzled out the last week again. It's really weird. And I know they want to compete before Ovi retires, but they keep spending money and then trading everyone away. It's really weird. But I think Ted also his checkbook's gonna go to the Caps and finishing Ovi's career before he's gonna go to the rebuilding Wizards right now. And only thing I could see like Leo's spending money on is like some insane name, but there's really no insane names in the coaching market right now. And I freaking saw someone being like, we should sign Juwan Howard as head coach, and I'm like, no, like Michigan has been horrible. Like Michigan basketball the last 5 years has been horrible. I know Juwan Howard was a big not he was he was not a big Wizards name. Let's not kid ourselves, but he was a Wizards name in like the early 2000s. But I do not want Juwan Howard as coach. So honestly, when I say it out loud like that, I don't mind Keith for just 2 years. A little Keith experiment. Why not? If the players like him, I'm not opposed to it.
Do they like him? Yeah.
They don't dislike
I can't
him.
Tell. I don't know.
They don't dislike him.
They dislike Wes. I saw the dislike in Wes.
Yeah.
And Keith is kind of like neutral.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't think to an extent I'll give Keith credit. Like I don't think Vucevic would score like 17 if he was playing for West. I don't know. That's just my feeling. I feel like Keith gives enough free reigns and enough like he he's been better good with rotations recently. So I'm okay with Keith. That's just my take. But
Me too. Me too. Me too. I don't know. I just remembered that like little rumor I saw on Wizards Twitter.
yeah, Wizards Twitter is a fun place. But yeah, I guess move on to the next game. We had a
Wait.
lot.
One
Oh,
person that we didn't mention a lot, Jared Butler. This dude shot 7 for 10 from the field, 3 for 3 from 3. 17 points, little Jared Butler, 17. And I mean, Poole's gone to be point guard since Tyus is like shut down. But then Butler, he's been playing out of like he's like showing potential and he's damn good at it. Like at point guard, I like what I've been seeing so far. Like instead it could have just been like Ryan Rollins. Imagine Ryan Ryan Rollins.
hey, Ryan Rollins of the Bucks. Remember that?
I know. I just remembered about it. But yeah, no, Jared Butler. I'm happy he got his little contract, but we'll get into that later.
It's interesting how just like a guy we signed as a two-way, he gets a full contract. He plays the same position as Johnny Davis, and he's just playing better than Johnny Davis. And honestly, just that the idea of that is funny to me. But yeah, do you think we could move on to the recapping the Lakers game?
Lakers game. Yeah, let's go to it.
So yeah, that was on Wednesday, April 3rd, and yeah, just give us a quick rundown of what went down that game.
So it was a home game. The score was 125 Lakers, 120 Wizards. The Wizards started hot with 5 threes made in the opening. It led us to a 19-8 lead. Washington made 8 of their first 9 shots, including an early triple from our second rounder Tristan Vucevic. But the Lakers, they closed the game on a 20-8 run. I mean, closed the first on a 20-8 run to take a 39-29 lead, if I remember right, at the end of the first. But pretty much it was just all like AD. I mean, they pounded us in the paint. Every team pounds us in the paint. And
Well,
they were plus 18 in points in the paint at halftime.
especially against Tristan Vucevic and Gil, like they didn't have a chance against anything. Like against Brook Lopez, as much as I love Brook Lopez, he's definitely a more plausible like guy to guard than prime AD. So yeah.
Yeah, and then like the classic Wizards, I mean, they began to lose their grip in the third quarter. They fell behind 92-75 as the Lakers outscored them 25-15. So, I mean, I was surprised. I didn't watch the second half, but when I looked at the score, I'm like, how did we only lose by 5?
And they did a little like sneaky fourth quarter comeback when the Lakers are already like checked out. And I mean, I appreciate there was effort, and I appreciate a box score looking closer than it actually was. But yeah, it was like I said before, it was one of those games, just talent gap. We don't have anyone. We don't have a LeBron. We don't have an AD. That's just how it is. And also, I know I'm like one of the biggest Kyle Kuzma defenders. I think like in the Wizards like social media community.
Kyle.
But recently, okay, I'm not gonna lie, Kuz like
Ball hog.
he's got the ball hog mantra that he's been trying to like shake off. He's kind of deserving that mantra again. And like we've been playing worse at the games that he has been like healthy, and it's like I don't know. And it's like when you try to do too much to like show off to LeBron, your old like best friend or whatever. I don't know, but is it like only 17 points on? He had a double. I don't.
Well, yeah,
care. He had a double. No.
Like Kuz can have his double doubles, but it affects the rest of the team. Like I swear, whenever Kuz doesn't play, Denny shows out. I mean, Denny he had 7 points, shooting 2 for 5, 1 for 2. He didn't even shoot the ball that much. So I don't see Denny with the ball that often.
Denny's averaging over 20 points per game. When Kuzma is out. So
yeah,
this is crazy. All the Denny stands for like the last like legitimately 4 years. Everything they prophesized, it wasn't true 4 years ago. But it's like kind of true right now. And
next Luka Doncic. Nah,
I'm not saying that, but like
nah.
you know how Denny stands attack like. They've attacked Beal. They've attacked Rui. They attack Corey.
No, these Denny stands are insane.
They attack.
I respect it though.
I love how much like the Denny stands add to the Wizards community. But man, you attack like every Wizards player in the starting lineup, and they attack Kuzma a lot. I think a lot of that in the past has been unfair, but maybe we take the last like 2-3 weeks. Yeah, it's a little fair. That Denny does look a lot better without Kuz, and the offense in general looks better without Kuz. So I don't know if strap the Kuzma trade was the offseason again. Maybe that's for a future offseason episode.
Uh, yeah. No, exactly what you said. I mean, people scored tonight though. I mean, Vucevic career high 15. At least when this game happened, it was his career high.
Yeah.
Kispert, little 17 points, casual. Justin Champagny, he played. He hasn't been, like talked about that much since like
I've
a
been a
couple
huge
games
fan of.
ago.
I've been a huge well, Champagne. He was with the Go-Go for a bit, helping them out for their playoff run. But yeah, I've been in love with Champagne's game so far. Like he's exactly the kind of this like little like small forward shooting guard kind of combo like wing that we just needed. I still can't tell his defensive ability yet. Just haven't seen enough of him. But he doesn't seem he's not a liability. That's something. And yeah, we just kind of we need a wing like that. And this roster does lack just someone that's just versatile and guard multiple positions like that. So definitely been a fan of Champagne so far. We've been really good, honestly, this season, hitting on like the two-way contracts we've been signing. Champagne has been great. Butler's been great. That's why he got a contract. Eugene was great.
Eugene,
I don't know. I
give
feel like
him a minute. He's been injured. He's got to like, soothe back in.
I feel like recently, is it weird to say like Eugene has like that Rui Hachimura kind of tunnel vision now when he gets the ball? Like it's kind of
Oh
he
no,
makes
I see it. I know exactly what you're talking about.
he has tunnel vision against the ball, which is kind of really weird. Like I like that he has that dog in him, but that dog in him leads to some
I think
interesting stuff.
he's had that for a while now. It's not even recent. He's had that tunnel vision.
It's always been in his game. It's just it's worked in the past. Recently, like, kind of weird, but he's still an energy guy. I'm happy to have him on the roster next year. Nothing against Amarui. Still love that guy. But yeah, we've been really hitting on our two-way guys, and even if you want to consider like Trey Jemison, I mean, he didn't do anything for us, but he's been decent for the Grizzlies. So yeah, so the two-way guys, kudos to Winger and Dawkins. They know how to they've been showing some strengths finding diamonds in the rough. So
Yeah, and then a little quiet shooting night for Jared Butler. Well, he did have a quiet. I mean, 9 points. He had 7 assists, most assists in the game. So I'm not gonna judge him for his scoring because
yeah.
I mean he passes really well.
Also, quick note: Poole at 29. We should
Oh,
also mention.
right.
We should also mention that like
I didn't even realize.
that's scoring leader. It
Right,
was like
Poole
yeah,
29
but
points.
it's weird because like when he scores efficiently, it's like because when he's inefficient, it's so noticeable. When he scores efficiently, it's honestly really subtle, and I really like
Well,
it.
it's because there's no one like freaking out about it anymore. No one cares. They only freak out if Poole like slips, like he always does, or he scores 0 points in a game. But when he
yeah,
actually does well, no one talks about it. I mean,
I'm
he did have a
definitely.
minus 32 plus minus. Sadly,
I did.
I mean, he shot 10 for 19, which is not bad, and then 5 for 9 from three. But minus 32, come on, it's a bit harsh, no? He only had he had
Let's
3
blame
turnovers. Kispert had 4. Kuzma
Yeah,
had 4 as well. Classic.
okay.
Sorry,
Okay.
Kuz. I'm done with you, man. I'm checked out for you. I was gonna get a little
Damn.
Kuzma jersey, but nah. Bye.
You know whose jersey I want next season? I
Jules
want a Gill
Bernard.
jersey. No, I want a Gill
Oh,
jersey. If he's still in the roster next year, I will actually get a Gill. Like of all the players in the roster, like
dude, if Gil leaves, I'll actually be sad.
he's not gonna leave. He's just not gonna be the NBA anymore. Like if the Wizards don't bring him back next season, that's what it's gonna. Well, you think like what he's gonna get the Pelicans are gonna sign him or something? That's not what's happening.
I don't want him to go away. I love Gil.
I want Gil to be our Udonis Haslem.
I want him to stay.
I legitimately do, and I think the locker room would actually be horrible without Gil. Like I think actually like Denny would have like punched like I don't know like someone he's fought Bertans before. He probably would have punched someone else by now. So
He's
yeah,
still got that little attitude in him. So
but keep fighting Denny, and appreciate the fight you got Denny because in the next game it was a loss to a really weak team in the Trailblazers. It was on Friday, April 5th, a 108-102 loss. But Denny had a pretty nice game, 22 and 12, and just proving that when Kuzma doesn't play, Denny looks really good. But yeah, just give us a little recap of the Blazers game.
So like you just said before, they lost 108 to 102 on Friday night. So both teams, they struggled from behind the arc. Washington shot only 5 for 33. In contrast, the Blazers shot 9 for 31 from three. But I mean, most of their damage came in the first half when they shot 7 for 18. So the Blazers were up as many as 12 points. But then they began to cool off as the game went on, only shooting 2 for 13 from the range at halftime. But like the Wizards, usually they struggle in the interior. I mean, they could not stop DeAndre Ayton. He dropped how much? Ayton, he dropped 34 points
And 13 boards.
and 13 boards.
I know what dominant because Aiden's been getting a lot of hate this year because everyone's like, "Oh, you're so dominating. What's so stupid?" But recently, after the dominating memes got intense and the hate got intense, and like even the Sun started like secretly making fun of him, he has been back to being a little bit of dominating, and he's still definitely a really consistent guy when it comes to effort. But the raw talent is there, and it can definitely show when he's playing against poor teams like the Wizards. But
And
yeah,
again,
that's
oh no, go ahead, go ahead.
yeah, I was gonna say yeah, like definitely, like I said, big part of the loss was just not unable to stop Aiden.
Yeah, and then I mean again on Ayton, like usual, the Wizards gave up 67-52 rebounds and they gave up 64 points in the paint. Ooh. So we need size in the interior. I don't know. Maybe we'll draft like Alex Sarr. I don't know. We need size ASAP.
Yeah, games like this make me want Alex Sarr.
Like we need size that can defend. Like we got Vucevic. He's 7 foot, but he can't defend at all. So we need size and a defender. Really, really bad. We lost Gafford. Gafford is going crazy right now. I think the Mavs. Mavs are like the 5th, 6th seed or something now.
They're climbing. Every Mavs game is legitimately. Have you been watching Mavs games recently? They've been legitimately magical.
I have.
Like it's actually magical. Yeah, like Kyrie went off last game, and then if you get that Dante Exum, Exum had a buzzer beater.
Oh my goodness, that's so.
Luka has it, and then still Luka has triple doubles every game. Gafford is getting like 15 and 15.
Goodness.
Yeah,
the Mavs are. Oh man, they're cooking.
Gafford unlocked them. I'm serious. Gafford.
They needed Gafford. Like watching their play style, they needed Gafford. Like someone like him, really bad.
I'm not gonna lie. Unless like we somehow get the most magical late first round selection this year, the Mavs won that trade. The Mavs won that trade.
Yeah. He's pretty much irreplaceable unless I don't know Dawkins does something magical in the first round. Man, I'm so excited for the draft.
That's as a taking
team. Nerve wracking.
As a taking team, that's what you gotta look forward to. But yeah, before we end the Blazers game recap, I do want to give a quick shout out to Delano Blanton, guy that had a really weird legacy so far in the NBA. He started off on the Raptors as just kind of one of the guys that Masai Ujiri on the Raptors discovered as like one of their diamonds in the rough. As you know, the Raptors have been good at that in the past, and he's been kind of just like the best. He's been just a weird tall point guard that kind of can't dribble. He's been a really weird player to watch over the last few years, but since joining the Blazers, we're like 27 games. He's been averaging 16 points per game for the Blazers. And that's really funny because over his career, he was just like a 3 to 5 point per game guy. So I don't know what the Blazers have done to unlock Delano Blanton, but he's been playing really good for the Blazers. And against the Wizards, he dropped 21, 8 and 8. So.
Jeez.
Welcome to the year of Delano Blanton. That's wonderful.
Who's this guy?
I don't know. We got one more game in our little preview of the last week, and yeah, it was yesterday. It was April 7th against the Toronto Raptors, who are 25-53. Definitely not a good team, and that game had a really rough start. Just go over what happened in the Raptors game.
So, we didn't have Shamit, Jones, Kuzma, Holmes, Johnny Davis. They're all injured with the. I don't know what their injury was, but they were all injured. But the start of the game, it was flat. They had 7 turnovers. Toronto shot 59% from the field in the first quarter to build a 29-point lead. Oh man! But in the second quarter, they stepped up defensively a bit. Quickened the pace. Avidja got a little comeback. I think he had a pair of like and one layups or something. Poole started assisting more. Corey Kispert made 4 of his 5 3-point attempts to cut the deficit to 10 points, 13, something in that range. So they came back. But out of the half, both the teams, they traded buckets, like with neither gaining much of an edge. I mean, Poole scored 17 points, and then he made a couple of contested threes.
Well, but they did well. Poole ended the game really well. 29 and 12. That's once again Poole, the playmaker, showing out once again. He's the point guard.
And
He's
then
the point
once
guard.
Kuz is injured, Deni drops 32 and 10. So I think it beats something.
I have actually loved to believe it beats something. That Turbo is more Turbo without Kuz. And that's a really tough, like I said, a really tough conversation to have in the off season. But
I hope the front office sees this. Really hope they see it.
Yeah. And then in terms of the other guys, Vucevic. The Moose kind of chipped after the horrible first quarter. They just kind of chipped away for the rest of the game. And it was after the first quarter, I was honestly shocked that the game ended in a single-digit loss. So once again, like flat start, but I'm glad just like the last couple of games, like this team has been fighting until the last buzz of the fourth quarter. So I appreciate that. And like Vucevic had 11 and 9, pretty solid enough, nothing too crazy. Corey had 21. Like I said, give him 40 minutes, which is still too many minutes, but give him 40 minutes and he will score 20. I can appreciate that from Corey. Okay, I feel like, I don't know. I know I'm really hard on young guys, and I don't know. I still don't like PBJ fully, but he did have
this is such a random little 16 points. He's never gonna drop 16 in his life. I'm sorry.
Getting 11 boards too. Getting 11 boards too was surprising, just because that's not his thing. We can't have Vucevic and Baldwin on the roster next year. We cannot have both of them. They are too similar. Yeah. We cannot have two tall guys that can sometimes shoot and do nothing else. That will not work. I will not stand for that. But I appreciate he had a little showing out game. I mean, he was a first round pick like a year ago for the Warriors, so I guess he has stuff like this in him. But I don't know. Still, I don't know. When he makes his threes, he can have games like this. But
after that game where he shot 0 for 8 from everything, I was like, okay.
0 for 8, 0 for 16, masterpiece. Like it takes a lot. It takes a
Even
lot.
Johnny Davis could do better than that. Come on, buddy.
It takes a lot for me to forgive PBJ even after that. So in terms of other performers, I mean Jared Butler, 7 points. Just honestly, if Jared Butler being a 7-8 point per game guy, that's totally cool with me without the full time contract. So Jared Butler filling his role, and then nobody else really that notable. Like I said, Eugene got a lot of minutes, didn't do anything.
Yeah,
that's why I've been kind of confused by Eugene recently.
Yeah, but we'll see. What are you doing?
We'll see. Well, maybe I don't know. Coming back from injury, just being a little slow, but I mean, I don't know. It was a nice effort loss. That's the best I can say about it. Raptors are a team we should be more competitive with, but I don't know. I don't know. RJ Barrett's nice, I guess, and Kelly Olynyk. Kelly Olynyk, man. This is why PBJ and Vucevic aren't good defensive centers, because I don't know. Kelly Olynyk dropped 21.
He plays so mean. Such a mean player.
Well, Wizards fans do hate Kelly Olynyk. If you remember the playoff series against the Celtics with the Oubre and Olynyk incident, infamous in the second round. Yeah, come on. Don't make that face at me.
I wasn't alive when this happened.
Well, I remember it vividly. Young me watching the TV and like, oh my god, Oubre slammed Olynyk to the ground after a hard screen. And ever since Wizards fans hate Olynyk, Olynyk is a little bit of a scrappy player, but like I said, against Patrick Baldwin, he can do pretty well. And honestly, a lot of people in the Raptors stat sheet. I mean, Gary Trent had a nice game. Grady Dick, who I think Grady Dick, I'm gonna be real, has been a disappointment his rookie year, but had a decent enough game against us. I like Ocha Abaji a lot. I've liked him since he was on the Jazz. And Ocha Abaji, honestly, a guy I wish the Wizards kind of picked up in the offseason, but as like a nice little just wing to fill out the roster. But regardless, Ocha Abaji played well against us too. It's just, the Raptors, honestly, everyone that stepped from the court for Raptors played well against us, and that's a big part why we lost. Just when every member of the 25-win Raptors plays well against you, and you're the 15-win Wizards, it is what it is. But also, one other thing to note from that Raptors loss, marks it official. This Wizards season is the worst
season of all time. I don't know if I should clap or cheer. Is this like a great accomplishment? We beat a record, guys. We beat a record. Woo!
It's honestly amazing to me that before this season, like our
Oh, we'll
worst
get
record.
30 wins.
I never did.
Maybe 20 wins, 30 wins.
Okay,
Ah.
I was a believer in like 25 wins.
No, I was looking at the roster. You would think that this had a chance, sort of.
Yeah, like Gaff, like Kuz, like
Gaff, Kuz, Poole, Corey,
well,
Tyus Jones. Maybe
I believe
20 wins.
I believe, but nope. It's just really weird. Like on paper, the amount of talent that theoretically is there, this should not be the worst Wizards team of all time. But also, it's kind of amazing to me this Wizards team, as much as we've been like one of the worst franchises over the last 40 years, it kind of is amazing that like our worst seasons are like 18, 19 wins, and like we've avoided being a true basement team. Like even when we got the first round pick with Wall. We got lucky in the draft lottery. We were not actually the worst team that year. It's just the draft lottery was lucky, nice to us. Have you heard the conspiracy theory about the John Wall draft? Like, there's a
I haven't
conspiracy
heard
theory
about it.
because like that was the year that our old owner died, and people were like, "Oh, the NBA was going to be nice to us because the owner died," and to like raise the value of the Wizards because the Wizards were going to be sold after the owner died, and then Tim Leosis bought them to raise the value. They gave us the number one overall pick, and like it's a weird NBA conspiracy theory I've seen before. I don't believe it because we're the Wizards. Like I believe some other conspiracy theories, like the Bulls getting the first round pick for Derrick Rose because he's the hometown hero. I kind of believe that conspiracy theory a little bit, but in terms of like us getting the Wizards getting lucky for Wall, just 'cause the NBA wanted to be nice to us, I don't believe that. But hey, let's hope. Maybe the NBA wants to be nice to us this offseason, so I wouldn't mind.
If we don't get a top three, if we don't get a top three pick, oh my, if we don't get basketball gods.
I wonder who do you think the Wizards are going to send for be a representative in the draft lottery this year?
Anthony Gill. Dude, imagine if AG goes. That would be so funny.
I think last year was Wes. Yeah, Wes was the
last
guy.
year was Wes, yeah.
Yeah. In the past, I think it's been Wes like 2 years, and maybe it was Tommy before. I remember 1 year Rui was there. That was like
Rui was there.
There was a year where Rui was a representative.
So funny.
I'm like 95% sure that was a thing. Like it was like after the Rui's first year, they just sent him to like be a representative.
Man, did he have a good first year? Do you remember?
Yeah, Rui. Okay, let's be real. I know we got hyped for Bilal's first year, but honestly, statistically, Rui had a much better first year than Bilal because Rui had like 13 points, 14 points per game his first year.
Yeah, like, I didn't know that.
Like Rui was always a really consistent offensive guy for us, and honestly, there's some. I've been thinking about this in the shower recently. Honestly, it would be really fun to watch Rui with his core right now. I think Rui would actually thrive with his current roster. Much better than like I think Rory with like Beal and all that, Porzingis, Kuz, that was never gonna be a good fit. But I think right now this youth movement, I think Rory would look really nice next to like a free Denny and a free Corey and Bilal, and I think would that not be fun? Like I think it would be a really fun team.
I wouldn't mind getting Rui back at all.
It's not going to happen at this point.
Yeah.
But if we never traded Rui for Nunn, I think Rui would be really fun in this current
Kendrick Nunn.
He's having fun in Greece. He's having a lot of fun in Greece. If you see his Instagram, he's like
anything else.
He's a Greece legend, right? Have you seen his posts? Like he's like in the stand and they're like cheering Kendrick Nunn. It's like
I don't stalk Kendrick's on Instagram. I'm not interested enough.
None better.
None better.
None better. Any other major takeaways from the last couple games? We've covered a lot. I guess we did go over Butler.
Butler's been doing his thing. Butler's been doing his thing. Corey's been consistent.
Butler's earned his contract.
Everyone's his contract. Oh, yeah, let's get this out of the way.
We talked about Butler's contract.
Did we?
It's a 3-year.
Yeah, 3 years. Whatever.
It doesn't cost that much. Here I can pull up the actual like value of it, but I don't think it's much more than minimum. Here, you want to guess what his contract is?
No idea. $6 million? Is that too much?
Per year or total?
Total. $6 million per year? Whoa.
Whoa. I mean, the NBA minimum contract keeps going up every year. Like at this point, like it's like $3 million or it's okay. It's still I thought it was like 2 or 3 million. Okay, apparently it's still like 1.8 million, but it goes up every
Wow.
year because
I said
the
6.
salary.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, 6 is a bit above the cap, or above the minimum, but okay. For a quick search, I don't think they actually announced what his new salary is. They just said multi-year deal, but regardless, I'm happy to see him get a full-time roster spot. He kind of does what like we wish Johnny could do, like even on a base level. So having guard depth, I don't mind Butler. I don't think he's. I don't like him defensively. I'll admit that's the one thing I critique him about. But he's a good playmaker. He can shoot. So I don't mind Butler off the bench as like a third or fourth string guard. Perfectly fine.
Totally agree with you. I love Jared Butler so far.
But yeah, but then beyond this, everyone being consistent. Besides like randomly Amarui not being consistent. Besides that, everyone else has been fairly consistent. Yeah,
With
that's
Kuz
nice
out.
to see
With
from them.
Kuz out. Just gotta mention
With
that.
Kuz out, yeah,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah,
It's not good. Kuz been bad as we've said, but regardless, besides the roster, let's give some shout out to Steve Buckhantz. So happy to see him back on the Monumental Sports alternative broadcast. Or I mean, before it was the shit. Why am I blanking? What were we before this year? What was it? It was
What?
com. What was the channel called? Because Monumental is a new thing
We
this
were
year.
on NBC
NBC Sports
Sports.
Network
Yeah,
or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
NBC Sports Washington. Yeah,
Yeah.
and yeah, Steve Buckhantz was a iconic announcer through the Gilbert era, as I mentioned, John Wall era. Has some iconic play calls. He worked really well with Phil Chenier for many years, and it's nostalgic hearing him back on the call. And I'll be real, he just sounds so much more professional than Drew Gooden and Chris Miller. Like, do you agree? Like, you gotta agree with me,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. No, I mean, if you watch Wizards broadcast games, which I stopped watching because of Drew Gooden and Chris Miller, then you would understand that they talk about the same things every single game. It's just the change of location is what changes their conversations. Like, oh, they'll be in Boston. Oh, what's the food around Boston? Maybe if I played in this game, then we could have beat Boston. Okay, maybe we go to Toronto. Maybe we could hit up Tim Hortons sometime. Right, Drew? Right, Chris? That's what I meant. God,
Yeah,
that's all they talk about.
yeah.
They talk about food and
Yeah,
talk about the game.
I'm actually sick and tired of like Drew Gooden talking about himself 24/7. Like, I don't know. I think Drew Gooden and Chris Miller would make a wonderful podcast, but for like our game announcers, like we are definitely like in the bottom of the NBA, like in terms of like TV announcers. Like I'm big for real.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I totally get you mean like going on League Pass and like just watching like other teams broadcasts is definitely more. It's more easier to digest, and honestly,
Like,
they have better
yeah.
analysis too. Like I feel like I'm not saying I'm an X's and O's expert, but Drew Good and Chris Miller, like their overall like analysis of the game is honestly very surface level.
I'll give him a
I get,
C. D?
I'll give a
F?
D. D.
Like, just D? Okay, I don't know. I haven't watched enough Chris Miller Drew Good in this season.
Yeah,
Okay, that probably explains it. I'll give him a D.
I'm basing it off last year too. Like last year they're the same too.
Oh,
So
yeah, no, last year's was. It was getting tough
wait,
to listen to.
yeah, I know the Buckhantz thing is like a temporary thing. They're just doing like the alternative broadcast is because Monumental's being experimental because they really care about subscribers right now. Like they've been really pushing for that recently. Like I'm not paying $200 a year for Monumental Sports Network, but they've been really pushing people to subscribe to the network recently. And kudos to Leo's Empire or whatever. But I appreciate this little fan service they're doing here. This announcement came on April 1st when it said Buckhantz is coming back. I was like, God damn it, don't do a Buckhantz April Fool's joke on me. But then no, it was real, and I was like, hell yeah. And also one other quick thing to shout out Steve Buckhantz. He's a James Madison alumni, so comes from a pretty good school. So yeah, overall just at very least I hope this is a shed of light, even if Buckhantz is semi-retired. I hope this at least gave light that maybe we should consider some new TV announcers for next year. Just move Drew Good and Chris Miller to either like a halftime role or some kind of podcast or TV show role, but definitely not the play-by-play role.
They could run the Monumental Sports TV show, whatever it is. You know what I'm talking
Yeah,
about?
well,
Yeah.
one of there's like I don't watch any of the
I
Monumental
don't
Sports
watch it. I've
shows.
just seen the
I'm gonna be real.
commercials.
It's cool that like Rachel Nichols is like apparently on one of the shows. I don't know, maybe Rachel Nichols being on like Monumental Sports Network, maybe she could convince Jimmy Butler to come to DC if you know what I mean. But like, yeah, come on, Jimmy retirement tour DC to see his good old buddy Rachel Nichols, maybe.
Maybe.
But yeah. Just want to say thank you, Steve Buckhantz. But yeah, honestly, I'm feeling a lot better about this team still sucks, but I'm feeling a lot better about just next year than I was like a month ago. Like I hate Poole less. Kuzma's confusing, but whatever. Like Denny, you're awesome. I'll say it. Corey, you're awesome. You're awesome the second half of the season. I don't know. You're still weird in the first half of the year, but
I'll accept that. I'll accept that.
You're a good second half of the season player. I'll give you that.
No, I'll accept it.
Gil, I will always love you, near and dear to my heart. Butler, you've earned a place on this team. Everyone else,
Johnny Davis walks, Tyus walks, Kuz walks. Goodbye.
Everyone else, yeah, you need to still prove yourself. I guess Rashawn, you're okay. You're okay.
Oh,
I
forgot.
guess. You're kind of hurt.
Yeah, Rashawn.
You're hurt. You've been hurt a lot for some reason, Rashawn. But yeah, his big toes. And when you stub a big toe, that hurts. But
no, it does hurt.
Yeah, but Rashawn, I still appreciate you for what you are as an older Gafford. So, yeah, I think that's a pretty good recap. The last couple of weeks. Yeah, you got anything else you want to add?
No, that's all I got for today's episode.
Man, the season's ending this week.
We got 3 more games. Timberwolves tomorrow, or like today. Well, in this video, I think will be posted tomorrow. We'll see. And then the Bulls and Celtics. We're almost done.
I'm really excited to see us play Cat and Gobert.
I'm not. We're done for. Nas Reed.
Okay, Bulls should be winnable, but we'll probably lose that one.
I want to get my revenge on DeMar. Maybe they should injure DeMar. I'm kidding.
I like DeMar. That was not he.
Hurt our rookie. Who does that? Can't just hurt a rookie and get away with it.
Okay.
If Kuz doesn't play, then we have a chance.
Okay. That's a crazy statement to hear at the beginning of the year. But
you
might be right. And then
in the beginning of the year,
yeah, and then after the Bulls game, the Celtics game on the end of season, April 14th, which is, I think that's winnable. Like I said before, the Celtics are going to rest their starters. I think that's really winnable. But so who knows? Maybe we could win with 16, 17 wins. Wouldn't that be crazy? And I think we'll still be in the top 3 for the draft odds, even if we win another game or 2. So have at it, boys. Get us another dub before the season ends. As Bradley Beal used to always go, like, he always go up to camera. He was like, dub. I want to see Jules Bernard do that to the camera next. So honestly, because of hashtag So Wizards, I think tomorrow we're gonna beat the Timberwolves. I can't. How? Can you do a Timberwolf howl for me?
Mm-mm.
Stop laughing.
Mm-mm.
Stop laughing.
I'm not howling. Stop. Chill.
I bet Cat like practices this in the locker room. They'll get together in a little huddle. They're like,
and after all that,
Timberwolves on. Yeah, those little Cat boys. He's like, after all that, Timberwolves on 3.
Nope.
That's exactly what they do.
Nope.
Kyle Anderson definitely does that. I'm gonna turn into a dog. I'm gonna keep barking. So let's wrap up this episode. Let's end this episode.
End the episode. You do the outro most of the time.
All right. Well, thank you guys again for tuning in. As always, off season's gonna we got a lot of like random but really fun content coming, as we said. So keep staying tuned for that. We're definitely not gonna stop the content the off season. And yeah, this last week of the season, we're gonna still pop out another episode or 2. Hopefully we can celebrate some just positives. I don't know why Raj just got up. He's spinning around.
My bad. I was getting something ready.
Okay, I have no idea what he just grabbed, but I'm excited. I'm about to get into form, so if you have something you want to show us. Oh, he has no basketball. Let's go. All right, everybody. Let's get into form, proper shooting form. All right, everybody. Before we go, remember, keep on shooting those DC threes. Swish. Whoa, bro, hit the microphone. All right, love you.
Bye.